It is time to do a little bit of absolute cinema. So, let me snooze those for a hot second. Babs, I don't know if you know what you clicked on, but you're going to get it. For those of you who do not want spoilers, this movie is currently still in theaters. So it is time to go through this. I can't see my chat currently, but for those of you who have been here long enough, you know in the beginning of this stream, I made these slides and I continue to make these slides. It just requires to see a movie of absolute cinema, which is a certain level of shit. How is absolute cinema defined? Back in the late 2000s and early 2010s, shitty movies could be found all over the place. The movies cost around $20 million to make. Tickets cost about $8, and boy did the movies suck, okay? We would go see these all the time. We would go to the theater, buy a cheap ticket. We wouldn't buy any snacks or stuff because we would go in the trash bins and pull them out and get them refilled for free. That was the way you did it when you were poor, okay? But sometime in the 2010s, YouTube killed the movie star. No one wanted to make a little bit of money off of these movies. You know, vampires suck. Maybe it made money, but it got a 4% tomato meter. Epic movie. One of the greats of all time. 2%. These are the kinds of movies that were made. But nowadays, absolute cinema in the modern age, if you kids want to go and see absolute cinema in the theaters, what do you need? You need, that's right, Daddy Jared Leto to spend $100 to $200 million on you. Which leads us to today's guest on absolute cinema. That's right, TRON ARES. I went and saw it, folks, and boy is it bad. Now, visually, I just want to say this before we even get into the metrics. Visually, as you expect from a TRON movie, it looks amazing. However, that's about where it ends. So let's just go ahead, let's jump into the metrics. Rotten Tomatoes, look, the tomato meter's 53%. That's very high. The worst part is the popcorn meter, which is the audience score. These are the people who said Demon Slayer is a good movie. 86% of you think that this movie's good. Y'all are wrong, okay? I went and saw this film. It is not an 86. 53? Maybe. That's a little closer to what it should be. This movie cost $180 million. Worldwide, as of right now, it has only made $66 million. For reference, TRON Legacy, which came out in 2010? That cost $170 million and made $409 million worldwide. And was still, I think at the time, considered to be not a great movie. But at least it made its money back. Okay? Now, normally here in Absolute Cinema, I go through peak moments in the film. However, this movie did not have any peak moments. Okay? What it did have was an issue of where the fuck was the plot. Okay? This whole fucking movie, you're sitting there going, okay, we're gonna get this person. They've got this thing. We got our plot device. And then there's a fucking rope that pulls the whole ass movie over here. And then it's like, okay, what was the plot again? Oh, right, the plot was this thing. Sorry, we gotta go over this direction now. We fucking lost the plot so many times in this movie. It was so bad. Thus, it fell into my category of absolute cinema. TRON Legacy existed. Everyone's seen the movie, or at least heard of the movie. It exists in this film. It's acknowledged at the very beginning of the film. And I'm going to give you spoiler warnings right now. If you haven't muted me, now's the time. But at the end of the film, it is even hinted at again as a potential next movie, but otherwise completely fucking ignored throughout the entire movie. And the plot points from this very movie do not even line the fuck up with Tron Legacy at all. So, holy shit, there's some retconning going on in this movie, and it's not good. Because they're gonna have to address Olivia Wilde's character. But, oh my god, if you have... I went and saw this in IMAX, people. And, it was IMAX 3D, which this was the first time I watched an IMAX 3D film that actually visually hurt my eyes because it was weird looking, whereas I feel I don't normally have that issue in 3D films. But this one cost me $26 USD. I cannot recommend this movie for that price. It's so bad. Which leads us to the score of the movie. And as all scores are on this channel for Absolute Cinema, I thought this movie was dark and mysterious, almost as good as The Dark Knight. This movie deserves a perfect score, a 5 out of 7, and therefore, Absolute Cinema. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this, Babs. Thank you for the redemption on Absolute Cinema, but that is all that we have today, folks, on Absolute Cinema.